are big fans of the ego death around here. So let's bring that on in. And speaking of which, let's talk about our divine talents. So a little bit earlier tonight, even before I even knew I was going to be, thank you, hearts coming in, before I even knew I was going to be making this video, I put a reel up of just a few. I wish you could do more. Like, you know, reels are like, oh, snappity snap. Like, don't talk back, one of those. Like, you got to be quick with it. And I was trying to showcase how many people I have met just on Instagram alone, naturally, by accident, energetically, who have come into their own gifts and talents, which look nothing like what, you know, what are you going to be when you grow up looks like. That story that they start you out with. That story that tells you or asks you or pretends that it asks you anyway, oh, what are you going to be when you grow up? Are you going to be this, that, the third? And then my favorite part is when they act like they're being imaginative. Oh, you want to, you know, you're going to be a conductor. You're going to fly a plane. You're going to be a this, a doctor, whatever. Okay, so let's be real. Some parents are a lot better at nurturing these things than others. But even for the ones that aren't, it's no disrespect to them because they literally were only doing what they were modeled. So in other words, what they saw is what they reciprocated to their kids, which was, yeah, it's okay to have a fairy tale dream, but then they never cultivated it. They never brought it into fruition. And by the way, it's all about the child finding themselves, if you ask me, and then coming into their own fruition and doing it a lot of times through trial and error, right? Like, I think it's so silly, you know, at least in the standards that I was grown up in, that, you know, it was expected, like, by the time you were 17, 18 years old, that's when you graduate high school around here, what are you going to be when you grow up? You actually have to figure it out. You got to pay for college. You got to take out loans for college, or you got to, you know, maybe mommy and daddy's paying for it, but if they're not, like, go ahead, sign your life away on a guess and a dream, even if you have no idea. Now, here's why that would be cool. That would be, like, in theory, that's a cool idea. The problem is high school, middle school, and elementary school. Well, maybe elementary school had the imaginary version, the imaginative thing I was talking about earlier, but middle school and high school never really cultivated your talents. In other words, there are very few schools that actually the teachers come up to you and say, hey, Brandon, what are you working on today? Do you like it? Do you want to do it more? If not, what else would you like to do more of? Why don't you like this? It's a good idea to reflect on why you don't like it and not the actual job itself or the chore or the subject, you know, content-wise itself. But what would you rather be doing right now? And of course, the answer is not video games. Well, maybe it is for people that are going to be, again, because like we have to think of what's current times. Hold on, shot, and then let me go ahead. What is it that you would enjoy doing more? If you like this, how can we advance this? Or what is the next thing? In other words, instead of the teachers being lecturers, which is really the format that we're used to right now. And when, let's be honest, it's almost what I'm doing right now. I like to engage with the people coming like down below and stuff, but like, let's be real. It's always people talking at you. It's always people giving you, regurgitating shit from a book, from curriculum, from shit. When do we take the time to actually ask our kids, you seem to like that. Why? And then shut up. How hard is it to shut up as an adult? Some of you cannot bear the silence even in 1 or 2 seconds. But can you imagine if we gave our kids 1 or 2 seconds in between each question, instead of filling in the blanks for them? Instead of telling them what their options are, letting them tell us. Is it weird to get used to silence from an adult? I can only imagine how it feels from a child's perspective. And I can only imagine that that's where conditioning starts. Because as adults, we think that we're doing them a favor by helping them out, by giving them hints, by giving them clues, by starting them off. No, the fuck we're not. No, we're not. Adults need that. Here we are thinking that we're the ones that are we need all this stimulation. But do we? And if we do, that's our own damn problem. Is it our kids' problem? Are we going to pass that down? Are we going to pass that down? Because there are divine talents and divine gifts that are coming in from people who are having children right now and coming up. And it's going to be our own damn fault if we fucking ruin that. And I'm for real on this one. People like to talk about the crystal children, the rainbow children, the da-da-da-da-da. I don't care what you call them children. We all came in with divine gifts and talents that got swept from under our damn feet because someone filled in the blanks for us. Whether it was our parents, our teachers, our neighbors, someone who couldn't just pause and ask and wonder, hey, what do you like? What do you like? And then shut up. And if the kid has no response, that's okay. Tell them that's okay. Maybe inspire them, maybe encourage them, maybe empower them and say, you know what? I was a lot like you. That's really cool that you're still thinking about it. That's okay. You don't have to know. There's never any pressure. You're coming up with something really good. I know it. Or that's okay. You have an interesting soul. And it's going to take a while for an interesting soul to figure that out. And I wish I had the time to think. I'm going to give you the time and the space. You take as long as you want, love. What if we started doing that? What if we started doing that around the clock? Not just once, not just twice, continuously. What if we, in other words, nurtured divine talents, divine ideas, things that are not cookie cutter? What if we applauded them? What if we didn't have to wait till you're 30, 40, 50 years old to come up with some weird thing and everyone's looking at you like, what the fuck are they doing now, fucking weirdo? And it takes bravery to come into it. What if that's just natural? What if it doesn't take bravery? What if it's just natural? What if it is just natural for young children to come up in a world where they are allowed to have this, what this is, Mars energy, right? Inspired gifts and talents. Inspired, wanting to live. Because how hard is it for some of us to live in this space, in this place? And if it isn't now, it was before. Some of us have come into, I know I've definitely, hey, I've done both. I've been in a place where I was like, why the fuck am I here? Get me the fuck out of here ASAP. Rocky, done with this shit. Kumbaya. But I've also, now I'm in this space where I'm like, I'm not going out without a fight. I'm here for it. But does it have to be a fight? Are we going to pass that fight down to our kids? Are we going to nurture their divine gifts and talents? And P.S., you do not have to be a mom or a dad to be doing this. Because I know many of us, I know I'm not a mom or a dad. I mean, I hang out with dogs. I hang out with kids. I tutor kids. I used to be a classroom teacher. But I refuse to put any human, any living, breathing being, in a place where they feel like they have to fit into a mold. Whatever you do, break the fucking mold for yourself and for your children. And nurture in these divine gifts and talents. It doesn't have to be, it's been so hard for us as advanced souls. It's been so hard for us as souls in this time and place to really face ourselves and face our truths and then come out with it and showcase it to others that are around us. You know how that feels. Just to, God forbid you're just spiritual. God forbid you just want to break out a Tibetan singing bowl. God forbid you want to put a crystal out on the new moon. God forbid you want to celebrate the new moon. God forbid you want to celebrate nature. God forbid you want to celebrate anything that isn't the fucking grind, right? Your paycheck. God forbid you want to celebrate you. Thank you for the hearts coming in. Guys, are we going to not do this for our future leaders? Can we be the end of the suffering is what I'm asking. Can we be the end of it? And, I'm a big fan of homesteading. I'm a big fan of homeschooling. I'm a big fan of not sending your kids to government public schools. Because if you're sending your kid to a public school, you're sending them to a government programming school. Let's be real. I understand for certain families, that is what you have to do right now. And whatever your reasoning is, you don't gotta explain it to me. To be honest, it's none of my fucking business, and I don't care. All I care about is the narrative that you are bringing to them that overpowers the dumb bullshit that they're giving them out in those government schools. And more importantly, the pausing that you're doing. Because what the fuck do we know? We know the worst of it. Actually. We're the end of the line. Right? I hope so. I hope that's what you're making this. That's what I'm making this. The end of the line. The end of the line. This will not happen to another generation ever again. There will be no more suffering. Call me a light worker, call me a starseed, call me whatever the fuck you want, a healer, whatever. All I know is this. I believe in no more suffering ever again on this level. And the longer I live, the less suffering there will be. And so it is. So on this new moon, when this card showed up, when we have Mars, which is all about inspired action, and when we have literally Venus, you can see them in the night sky. Tonight, it depends where you live, I guess. We had a dust storm here, so you can't see too much. Fuck it, it doesn't matter. You don't have to see it to appreciate this message. Which I mean from the bottom of my heart, and I know you do too, because we all care about our kids, and we all care about our future, and if we didn't, we peace out. What the fuck is the point? This place is a shithole if we leave it a shithole. You know that, right? We're the change makers. You know that, right? We're the ones. You know that, right? So I'm just asking you to reflect on how you speak to our children. More importantly, how you pause for our children. How you shut the fuck up. Count. 3 seconds, 5 seconds. I dare you to go to 10 and let them speak first. Stop filling in the blanks for them. Let them tell you what their inspired action is, what their divine gifts and talents are. Because I want to say one more thing before I close out this video. In almost every other star race, the Pleiadians are one of them, they have a child is born, and the child shows up, and the child grows, okay? And then the child starts to showcase new gifts and talents. And guess what they do? They shut the fuck up. They don't tell that child where they're going to serve in the community, which, by the way, is 5D realms and higher. They don't tell them shit. They actually see what they're good at, and then they find that they create a space in the community. They create it. They create it for them. Imagine if our world looked like that. Imagine if we didn't tell them, oh, you can be a pilot, you can be a teacher, you can be a doctor, you can be a this, a that, a this, a that, a this, a that. Instead of giving them these fucking bullshit options that look and talk a certain way, what if we just let them create their own? I think that's how you would create a new world really fast. Really fast. And I think it would be an inspired world. I think that's what this Mars energy is pushing us to do. And as adults, we can reflect within, but how many times am I going to say the same things to you guys until we start turning it inward and then start turning it onward? Onward to our kids, onward to our future, onward to our future fucking leaders, because that's who they are. We're here healing, and that's so important. But guess what else is important? The ones coming up, watching. So while they watch you heal, that's beautiful. Because I'm like, damn, I don't know what my parent was doing, but it was so important. Whatever they were doing, they kept doing things called shadow work and crystals and all this. They're going to reflect and laugh, and they're going to reflect and honor. But are you going to fill in the blanks for them? Or are you going to let them be observers? Are you going to let them speak and live their truth? Are you going to let them discover when they're young instead of having to rewind the way that we had to rewind? How many of us are rewinding right now? And it all makes sense when you look back. It all makes sense when you look back to the things you liked when you were a kid until someone told you who you are and told you what to do and made you waste all your time and all your energy in this dumb shit that the system makes you do. I know, I get hyped. But thank you so much, guys. I'm an advocate for those who can't speak for themselves all the time. And our kids are one of them. And it's really important to me to share this. And even if you don't have kids, I think that I don't have kids. I just think it's a really, 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 really strong place to be in and to spread even to our friends that do have children in a way that is gentle, in a way that isn't offensive. But you get one-on-one time with children at some point. I know you do. So take the opportunity to practice that, because even when you're practicing that pausing, look, like even you want to X off right now. What are we showcasing for them? What are we modeling for them? Is it a 1-second TikTok video, or is it a reflective state? I love you all. Take care and pass it on. Love you.